September 3rd, Beijing commemorated 80 years since its victory over Japan at the end of World War II, an event officially called the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. The parade, a showcase of China's military might including hypersonic weapons, ICBMs, and underwater drones, was attended by President Xi Jinping flanked by Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong along with leaders from 20 other countries including Iran, Malaysia, Myanmar, Mongolia, Indonesia, Zimbabwe, and regional Central Asian powers. Notably absent from this grand display was India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, despite being invited. He departed Tianjin on September 1st, after participating in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, which emphasizes regional cooperation, but seems to have deliberately sidestepped attending the parade. The parade was not merely a celebration, but also a strategic signal, a display of China's military strength, and perhaps more importantly, a show of defiance towards the United States. The timing and the display of advanced weaponry suggest a message of resilience to Western pressure, especially amid ongoing tensions and the broader geopolitical rivalry. While Modi did meet Xi Jinping briefly on the sidelines of the SCO summit to discuss bilateral issues, his absence from the parade signifies a carefully calibrated diplomatic stance. By not attending, Modi avoids endorsing China's military hardware and the symbolism of the parade, which could be perceived as tacit support for China's assertive posturing. This decision is believed to be a strategic message to the West, especially as India navigates its complex relationship with China and Pakistan. Despite the recent easing along the border in eastern Ladakh, where troop movements have been scaled back and tensions have cooled, India remains cautious. China's support for Pakistan, which has supplied 81% of Islamabad's weaponry over the past 5 years, keeps India on alert. India's stance is pragmatic. While it engages with China diplomatically in multilateral forums, it remains wary of any symbolic gestures that could undermine its security interests. The absence from the parade underscores this cautious approach, signaling that normalcy in relations is still distant as long as China continues to bolster Pakistan and maintain its assertive posture along the border. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, former U.S. President Donald Trump issued a stark warning on social media, accusing China's President Xi Jinping and North Korea's Kim Jong of conspiring against the United States. Trump's post on Truth Social read, "Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong as you conspire against the United States of America." His comments reflect ongoing U.S. concerns over the alliances forming among these countries, which are seen as counterpoints to American influence. Chinese President Xi Jinping, meanwhile, reinforced his stance of defiance, declaring that China is never intimidated by any bullies, signaling that Beijing remains confident in its strategic autonomy despite external pressures.
The Chinese nation is a great nation that does not fear violence, and that stands independent and strong. In the past, when confronted with a life-or-death struggle between justice and evil, light and darkness, progress and reaction, the Chinese people stood united, rose up in resistance, and fought for the survival of the country, the rejuvenation of the nation, and the cause of human justice. Today, humanity once again faces a choice between peace and war, dialogue and confrontation, mutual benefit and zero-sum competition. The Chinese people firmly stand on the right side of history, on the side of human civilization and progress, committed to the path of peaceful development and working together with peoples of all countries to build a community with a shared future for humankind.
Despite these tensions, India continues to walk a delicate tightrope. Analysts suggest that, despite the 50% tariffs imposed by the U.S. and aggressive rhetoric from Trump's allies, New Delhi is reluctant to alienate Washington, given the mutual need for economic and strategic cooperation. India hopes to secure concessions from the U.S., particularly regarding the easing of sanctions on Russian oil imports and other bilateral trade negotiations. At the same time, India has maintained a pragmatic relationship with China, improving border management, pulling back troops, and condemning terror attacks linked to Pakistan, while carefully avoiding actions that could escalate tensions. In summary, while China's Victory Day parade showcased its military prowess and geopolitical ambitions, India's decision to skip the event reflects a strategic choice, sending a clear signal that its security and sovereignty come first, and that engagement with China does not equate to endorsement of its military posturing. For more in-depth analysis and the latest updates on global geopolitics, make sure to subscribe to the Indian Express. Stay informed, stay ahead.